Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the PBC on ESPN conference call. Your host, Kelly Swanson, will begin.
Thank you, operator. Thanks everybody for calling in. I'm very excited. We are talking today about the inaugural Premier Boxing Champions on ESPN series that's about to start on Saturday, July 11th, with a fantastic fight and two actually really great televised fights. But today we're talking about the main event, which features the welterweight showdown between undefeated knockout artist Keith one-time Thurman and former world champion Luis Collazo. The televised coverage begins on ESPN at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, 6 p.m. Pacific, and that will start with a matchup between undefeated rising star Tony Harrison against Willie Nelson. That's going to be a barn burner. Tickets for the live event, which will take place, again, July 11th at the USF Sundome in Tampa, Florida, are still available. The event's promoted by Warrior Boxing. So you can find the tickets actually through Ticketmaster or visiting the Sundome box office. Okay, we're going to get right to the fighters today, which is always, I know, pleasant for both the fighters and the media. I'm going to first introduce Luis Collazo. His record is 36-6 with 19 knockouts. He's from Brooklyn, a former world champ. And Luis has definitely faced some of the bigger names in boxing with Shane Mosley, Ricky Hatton, Victor Ortiz, and Andre Berto. So, Luis, do you want to just say hello, make an opening statement, and then I'll introduce Keith. He can make an opening statement, then we'll turn it over to questions for both guys. Luis?
Hello, everyone. It's great to be speaking to you guys today. Excited for next week, July 11th. It's going to be a great fight, and the boxing fans are going to be very happy.
Okay, great. Short but sweet. Next, I'm going to introduce Keith Thurman, one-time himself. He's undefeated, very exciting for any fighter to be undefeated, 25-0 with 21 knockouts. He has the pleasure of being able to fight in his hometown of Tampa on July 11th, and Keith has already appeared on the inaugural Premier Boxing Champions event when he defeated Robert Guerrero, which took place on March 7th. So I'm delighted to introduce Keith Thurman. And Keith, if you want to make an opening comment before we turn it over to the media. Keith?
Hi, everybody. How you doing? It's a pleasure to be here. I'm looking forward to July 11th, Tampa Bay, Florida, defending my world title in my hometown. Me and my whole team are truly excited. We respect Luis Collazo, and we're looking forward to having a great performance in the challenge on July 11th.
Okay, great. Thanks so much. All right, operator, if we could go ahead and open it up to questions, that'd be awesome.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star one on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions at this time, please press star one on your telephone keypad. And our first question is going to go from Dan Raphael from ESPN. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. Keith, my first question is for you. It's good seeing you in Las Vegas last week, or 2 weeks ago, I guess, at the Porter and Broner fight when we had a little chatting. Got the impression from that conversation that you're excited to be in the position that you're in, but you're also maybe a little bit reluctant about the possibility of having huge stardom come your way. And it seems to me very clear that what Al Heyman is doing right now by putting you in the main event on the very first NBC PBC card, now putting you in the first main event on the ESPN PBC card, that he's got that stardom in mind for you also if you continue to win. Can you sort of explain to me where you view the prospect of you becoming a significant star in boxing and perhaps some of your reluctance about that?
Well, at the end of the day, I'm just Keith Thurman, and I just enjoy being the person that I am. I enjoy some of the spotlight, but there are moments where it can be a little overwhelming. I'm looking forward to being champion. It's been my dream to be champion and stay champion, be one of the major champions in the sport in the world of boxing. Right now, I believe I'm one of the most talked about welterweights currently in the welterweight division. The fans are loving my excitement. They They loved the last showdown with Robert Guerrero on the opener for NBC. Now we're opening ESPN, and it's another blessing. It's a pleasure. I believe Al is recognizing my hard work and dedication to the sport, and we're just going to try to keep moving forward, man, and hopefully just live up to the hype, man. So.
Keith, what is it that you believe can be overwhelming? I know you like to be just a regular guy, so what overwhelms you about the spotlight?
This camp, in general, man, I've had more appearances that I needed to make, more interviews, less time to myself, less time to stick to my regimen. So I had to make adjustments, and I'm just going to have to get used to making these adjustments, especially when you're on this stage and you're making these kind of paychecks. I used to think it was all boxing, but now I'm understanding the business, and that's all that I'm really trying to wrap my mind around. 26 years old, young guy, and we're learning constantly in the sport of boxing, in the ring, and outside of the ring in the sport of boxing. So, I try to stay level-headed. I try to stay humble, and do the best I can. I'm looking forward to the career that's ahead of me.
That's good about that stuff. I have a question for you about Collazo. We all know Luis Collazo, tough guy, been in the ring with a lot of good fighters. Like Kelly mentioned many of them in her introduction. What is about Collazo you think that I guess could either give you perhaps a little bit of trouble or make you look really excellent?
Well, he's going to do his best to not allow me to look excellent. He's going to do his best to bring his all, make an upset in my hometown, and he has an opportunity to become world champion. So I'm pretty sure that he's going to do all that he can do. But one thing is, out of all the champions that he's fought, I still believe that my punching power is still above anybody that he's fought. So, that's going to be something new. A lot of people think, they watch tape, they watch this, they watch that, but they don't know how the punches feel. And, I'm looking forward to a great, intense fight.
Thank you very much, Keith. I look forward to seeing you in Tampa. I have a question for Louis. Louis, you there?
Yeah, man. How you doing,
hey, Louis. Good talking to you. You got the loss against Khan. You came back with a quick knockout back in April on one of the PBC cards, and now you're here getting another shot at one of the titles. Can you tell me your opinion about where you think Keith Thurman rates in all of the top guys you faced, Khan, Ortiz, Andre Berto, in your career?
I believe Keith Thurman is doing, a heck of a job. Undefeated. I don't take nothing away from him. And in this sport, anything can happen. I'm just coming in here prepared for this fight July 11th. And you can count on his power. It's all right. But end of the day, once that bell rings, it's just the tapes are out the window. Everything is out the window. Whoever sticks to the game plan the best, who should come out victorious.
Do you have any thoughts, Luis, about going into his hometown and fighting? Keith hasn't had a lot of hometown fights, certainly not since he's been at the higher level of boxing. You're a guy that's had some hometown fights. You're a guy that's been on the road. What do you think about going to fight him in the front of his home crowd?
Well, we got his negatives and positives. I'm just going there to take care of business and give the fight fans that they want, some excitement. That's my job as a fighter, and if that's pressure on him, that's on him. But I got to do my job.
All right, very good. Louis, thank you very much.
Thank you, man.
And our next question is going to come from Kevin McCrae from the Bleacher Report. Please go ahead.
Hey, guys. Thank you all for doing this call today and taking the time out of your schedules. I just have a couple of questions for each guy. Just start with you, Keith and Louis. Nothing but best of luck in the state fight on July 11th. My question for you, Keith, is that I think Kelly said at the beginning of the call here that she describes you as knockout artist Keith Thurman. Your last two fights, you've gone the distance, obviously against a couple of tough foes, and I'm just wondering what you think about that label as a knockout artist, because I think you've shown your last couple of fights that when it comes down to it, when you have a guy in there that requires you to box, you can do that pretty well and pretty effectively as well. I just want to get your thoughts on that and on the label as a knockout artist and whether or not you think that's something important to you.
Well, at the end of the day, I still hold one of the highest KO ratios in the welterweight division. At this level, no fighter's coming to get knocked out. they know what they're up against. They know they're up against a dangerous fighter. The number one rule in boxing is protect yourself at all times, and they're aware of that. They're trying to box smart. They're trying to be crafty and outdo me. But you can watch both fights, and there was still a knockdown in both fights. The Bundu fight happened in the first round. The Guerrero fight happened in the ninth round. So it's apparent that I am a puncher who holds power from the beginning to the end. And we want the knockouts and the knockouts, for the fans, for the publicity, to live up to the name one time. But at the end of the day, we still just want to be a champion, and we'll do whatever it takes to stay champion.
All right. And coming out of the Guerrero fight, and then obviously you've been mentioned pretty prominently as a foe for some big names in the welterweight division. Obviously, Floyd Mayweather's name's come around. You've heard their names: Kell Brook, Sean Porter, guys like that. Do you worry at all about any sort of a letdown in this fight, given that you're coming out of the Guerrero win, the first fight on PBC, the first main event on PBC? You're looking, obviously, I know you're not going to be looking towards the future. You're not going to look past this fight. And a lot of people in the media and a lot of fans are going to do that job for you. Do you worry about this being something like a trap fight for you, given the potential opportunities that await you down the road?
Can you repeat that last part?
I was saying, do you worry about the NFL and other sports? They talk about a game being a trap game. You have a big opponent one week, and then a big opponent the week after, and then you got that game in the middle. That people get tripped up by. Are you worried at all about that happening to you in this case, given the huge opportunities that may await you down the road?
No, a lot of people, they're just impatient in the sport. They want to talk a little bit now, but they want to talk about more later. It takes time for big fights to brew up and to happen. Me and my team, we take one fight at a time. We're looking forward to July 11th. We train for July 11th. We're not training for anything else. And I'm happy to be performing in my hometown, defending my title in my hometown, and putting on a show, man. ESPN. It's going to be an exciting event.
All right, great, Keith. Thank you for the time. I just got one for Louis. Louis, you're a Brooklyn guy. I've talked to you 2 times before for your fights at Barclays. I'm just wondering if I can get your feelings on, once again coming in as the underdog, like you did against Victor Ortiz, like you did against, Amir Khan in your 2 most recent big fights. Is that a role that you enjoy? Do you like coming in, like you mentioned in your opening comments, or that the pressure is a lot more on Keith Thurman here than it is on you because you're the underdog, you're coming on the road, fighting a road game against a better-known opponent? Is that a role that you enjoy and a role that you embrace for this fight?
Absolutely. I've been an underdog all my whole career. There's nothing new. Keith Thurman is a champion, so, hey, if I got to go to his yard to fight for his world title, that's what it is. I'm just blessed for this opportunity, and just want to give the fight fans what they want, some excitement. And come July 11th on ESPN, it's going to be a heck of a fight.
All right, great. Thank you both guys for the time, and best of luck in the safe fight to you both on July 11th.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Again, if you have any questions, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad. Our next question is going to come from Robert Littal from Black Sports Online. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Good afternoon, gentlemen. My first question is for Keith. You just mentioned a little bit about fighting in Florida. We have seen at times when fighters kind of fight close to home that it does it could be a lot of distractions. And how are you handling that? And do you feel like you have to do things to make sure that you're not going to be distracted with things that don't have anything to do with boxing?
Well, I just kind of let my team handle all the things on the outside. We're just focused on this fight. For the most part, there's a little extra comfort level knowing that you're fighting in your own backyard. But to me, it's another fight, man. We've been here many times. We've done this many times. We're just sticking to the formula and staying true. We don't really change nothing just because it's at home. I got a few more friends on Facebook trying to hit me up and asking about tickets and stuff. But like I said, man, I just roll that over to the rest of my team and just stay true to the formula, man. I'm looking forward to July 11th, just like any other fight.
Okay, and the second question I had for you is you're very much a throwback fighter, willing to fight anyone, will take on any challenge, would never duck anybody. But it seems like sometimes you get frustrated by some of the politics that are involved in boxing. How hard is it for you to stay patient, to take fights like this one, to keep building your brand, but understanding what's going on?
I mean, boxing is nothing but politics. If there wasn't any politics, it'd just be street fighting. You know what I mean? So it's an industry, it's a business, it takes time. I've learned that. You know, I've been on the scene for 3 years now, and just earlier this year, I got my first fighter in the top 10. And you know, to a degree, it's a struggle, man, but it's a grind, and I look forward to the grind. I enjoy the grind. You know, my whole life, all I wanted to do was be a professional boxer, and here we are, WBA world champion, man. So to me, I'm a young boy who made dreams come true, man, and I'm just trying to fulfill all my dreams in life.
And I had one question for Luis. You know, you've been in this situation before as an underdog. We've seen you pull, you know, upsets before. But now, you know, you're facing a young guy, a talented guy, just like you did against Amir Khan. What maybe have you learned from all of these kind of underdog roles that are going to help you prepare for Keith Thurman?
Go out there and be myself. You know, I had a great training camp. Still got another week and a half. And just go out there and do what I love to do and do what I do best.
All right, thank you, gentlemen, and have a great fight.
Our next question is going to come from Deandra LaBeouf. Please go ahead, from badculture.net. Please go ahead.
Good morning or afternoon, gentlemen. I'll start with some questions for Keith. You mentioned earlier in the call that you can find the spotlight overwhelming. How do you balance that feeling against your career ambition?
Well, like I said, I'm just young, you know. Each fight is a new experience. For the past 2 fights, I've gone 12 rounds. So prior to that, I've never had 2 fights added together, a 24-round event. You know, I've been on HBO, Showtime, NBC, now ESPN. Each corporation has their own camera crew. They have their own little forte on how they like to promote the event. And it's all a little different. You know, I'm building my name. I'm becoming more popular. They want to see more of me. They want to hear more of me. They want more feedback. You guys are asking these questions to get feedback. So it's really just a journey, you know. I mean, every fighter bears weight on their shoulders, but it's not weight that we can't handle. If it was weight that we can't handle, we wouldn't be in the position that we're in. So it's just, you know, just growing and learning, evolving, and understanding the sport of boxing. And for the most part, it's not too much, but I do recognize the shift in what is happening in my career.
I think part of what fans find refreshing about you is you're the most outspoken compared to some of your other management, you know, group mates, and that's rather courageous. Why do you feel why are you more outspoken about the direction of your career and the selection of fights for you compared to some of the others in your stable?
I've just been around boxing for a long time. I've been around a lot of old heads in boxing, and I've just paid attention to the sport. You know, I mean, I've used my ability to learn and you know, to evolve to be where I am today. So, you know, one thing that I know in life, you know, is boxing. So if you want to talk boxing, we can talk boxing. Especially if we're talking about the welterweight division. That's my division. I'm active in my division. Back in the day, right before I turned pro, I used to never watch professional boxing. It was like one of the last things I'd ever want to watch on TV. But now that it's my career, I'm just more involved and more entwined into it. I have more invested into it, you know. I mean, I am investing my life into this sport, and so I give it my all, you know, inside the ring, outside of the ring, and I have a passion for it, you know. A great speaker is Paulie Malignaggi. You I mean, he's a tremendous speaker on the sport. Danny Jacobs knows some things as well. So there's other guys out there, but to each their own. And that's just life.
And one last question for you. We now see you are kicking in the door in the inaugural broadcast of another PBC installment, first against Robert Guerrero, and now you have the fight against Louis Collazo. Should we interpret this as the torch is being passed to you since you are the opener for big broadcast for this production?
I mean, I'm somewhat of a go-to guy. I'm reliable. You can trust me. I show up. I make weight. I stay true to the contract. There hasn't been a lot of controversy with me in my career. Our team is dedicated, and I just believe that Al sees that, and he's taking advantage of my hunger. And plus just trying to grow me as a fighter. This is a great opportunity. It's a blessing, and when I heard about it, I couldn't say no.
All right, thanks, Keith. And then I have one quick question for Louis. We know that your opponent's reputation precedes him as his intro on this call. How do you tune that out as you focus and prepare for this bout?
Regularly, he got to play for his part, and I got to play my part. It's okay. I've been in this situation before, so I just got to stay prepared and stay focused, and let him do what he has to do.
All right. Good luck, gentlemen. Thank you.
Our next question is going to come from Eddie Goldman from No Holds Bar. Please go ahead.
Thank you very much. Hello, everybody. First question for Keith. Keith, given the fact, as everybody has said, you're headlining this ESPN card. ESPN gets the strongest cable sports ratings in the U.S. and all of that. Do you feel that you have to do more than just win this fight, but make a statement in it towards the fans?
I mean, at the end of the day, my job is to win. Everything else is icing on the cake. We want to be great. We want this match to be talked about, for months to come later on in the year. But we stay focused to the formula. This it's just another camp for me. It's another fight. It's another opportunity for me to showcase my skills and my talent to the world. And I don't believe that I've disappointed anybody yet. So July 11th shouldn't be anything different.
I also read an article about you recently where you talked about, especially when you were younger, you were influenced a lot by the martial arts and how your father had wrestled. How has that affected your approach to boxing, which really is a martial art, but how has it affected you?
Well, all of the martial arts early on, it developed a passion. It really just lit the fire of wanting to develop some form of a fighting style. And when Ben Getty found me at 7 years old, I just saw boxing as a form of martial arts, hand-to-hand combat. I didn't see boxing. I saw a form of martial arts. I just didn't see a red belt, blue belt, green belt, black belt. I didn't see any of that stuff. But I saw an opportunity for a young man to become a strong man. And, here we are, 25-0 with 21 knockouts. I had a great amateur career, and boxing has been a blessing to me. I just bought my first house, and, I got my family a house. It's really it's really a blessing. I'm truly grateful for what the sport has been able to do for me and the people around me.
And Louis, question for you. You're obviously a veteran fighter. You're coming in with a lot more experience than Keith. But what do you see your advantages are in this fight where you could get the victory, especially in his home territory?
Well, I just got to stick to my game plan. I'm prepared well for this fight, and just stick to the game plan and do what I do. Don't get caught up with the hype and just have fun.
have you seen any weaknesses in his fights where you could take advantage of?
You know, every fight you gotta you look at certain fights and yeah, you're gonna see weaknesses while you're watching fights with other fighters, but once you get in that ring, it's totally different. So we just gotta stick to the game plan and adapt and just adapt to the style once we in there.
Okay, thank you. Good luck to everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, actually, I think that was our last call for you guys. So that was awesome, really great. We got a lot accomplished in a short amount of time, which is what we want to do. So again, everybody, we're going to have closing comments by both fighters, and then we will wrap it up. So, Louis, let me start with you.
Excited for next week. It's almost down. Countdown starts in a couple of days. But it'll be an exciting night of boxing on ESPN. And I'm blessed, and blessings to all.
Okay, great. And Keith?
I just want to say thank you for everybody that called in. July 11th, it's going to be another great fight. We're looking forward to great performance. We're looking forward to whatever experience Luis Collazo brings into the ring. It sounds like he's going to be as sharp as he can be. He's going to be looking for the weaknesses that approach him in the fight. So I'm looking forward to it. He has a lot of skills, a lot of knowledge, and it's gonna be a great night of boxing. Thank you everybody, and tune in July 11th, ESPN, TBC.
Okay, thanks everybody. Please watch out for the fight week schedule and enjoy the 4th of July and the fireworks this weekend before we see fireworks on Saturday, July 11th. Thank you. Bye.